history won't be kind to you. Ilana, Oodua, Tãckl, Tinubu, and others. The umbrella for the body of Yoruba self-determination group, Ilana Oodua, has tackled the national leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu, and other Southwest APC leaders for opposing separatist agitations. The Punch had reported that Tinubu and other APC leaders in the Southwest, including Chief BC Akonde, had at a meeting on Sunday opposed the Yoruba Nation-supported One Nigeria restructuring, ranching, and open grazing ban. But Ilana Oodua, through its spokesperson Maxwell Adeleye, in an interview with The Punch, described the APC leader's decision as unfortunate, clarifying that the group is for self-determination, not secession. The group, headed by Professor Banji Akintoye, also said to the APC leaders that history will not be kind to them for opposing the wish of the people. People need to correct this. It is not secession we are fighting, or what we are fighting for is self-determination, right of our people as guaranteed by the United Nations Charter on Human Rights and even the 1999 Constitution. It is our right to fight for self-determination. Tinubu and others are entitled to their opinions. Conduct a poll and you will see that a majority of Yoruba people want their own nation. It is unfortunate that Chief BC Akonde is present where the yearning and aspirations of Yoruba people will be denied. If his mentor, the late Chief Bola Ige, is alive, will BC Akonde say the things he read out yesterday? If the likes of Tinubu, Baba Akonde, because of their ambition, Baba Akonde, are not careful, history will not be kind to them for standing against the yearnings and aspirations of the people. Without the people, they cannot be leaders, he said. All right, okay, cool. So, again, I think one thing that we need to pick up here is that they said and they clarified that the group is for self-determination, not secession. Okay. Now, let's just go and look at the dictionary definition of secession and then we'll see what self-determination is as well, because we need to make this clear. So secession says the action of withdrawing formally from a membership of a federation or body, especially a political state. So basically, this means that they want to withdraw from the whole Federation of Nigeria, as in being part of it being the Southwest, but then they want to have their own Yoruba nation. Absolutely fine. I think if you don't understand the meaning of what we're saying, of course, would have there's going to be miscommunication on what actually is going on. So let's look at what self-determination is, which is actually a human rights which is actually part of the human rights. It says the process by which a country determines its own statehood and form its own government. So again, it's like, because of the way secessionism or secessionists are seen in the country as sort of enemies of progress, the fact that you want to withdraw and have your own Yoruba nation makes you want secession and therefore self-determination. But the fact is, secession comes first and then you can achieve self-determination. That's it. Because self-determination is basically having autonomy over your resources and you decide what kind of, or the kind of form of government that you want. That's it. So again, it's just like, because of the way secessionism has been seen and, sort of branded as this sort of separatist, you're not out here for the good of the Nigerian people, or that's just manipulation. The fact is, if you want a separate country, Biafra, Yoruba Nation, Oodua, or whatever, you are looking for secession. You are withdrawing from a formal agreement. And again, the country coming together to be one was a formal agreement based on our independence. However, it still begs the question to ask what grounds and, the basis that we did get our independence in the first place. Meaning that for secession to happen, we need to understand who the stakeholders are. And unfortunately, fortunately, depending on how you see it, Nigerians only are not the stakeholders. That is it. And the fact is, as Nigerians, we don't know what the details, and as Nigerians will say, the in total of the whole thing as to how we got our independence. Anyway, so when it comes to secession, it's a formal agreement of being a political state and you want to withdraw from it. That is what secession is. So being an official state required that there was an agreement, of course, with each side, Obafemi Awolowo, about Macaulay, all these all these people that added to forged the movement for, or pushed forward the movement for self-determination and all that, for Nigerian independence. They signed an agreement, but we need to know what basis that we need to sign, because for you to withdraw from an agreement, it means that there are certain things that were signed off that you might have to fulfill. So it might not be as straightforward as we think, and I think that we're not asking the right questions in terms of what we need to do. Someone says Yoruba nation is unstoppable. Tinubu are Conde free to support or oppose part of their system, but what he knows, politicians can never support Nigeria breakup to save lives. At the end of the day, the fact is there's absolutely no excuse. As much as we say that power lies in the north, there has to be compliance, and there has to be cooperation for certain things to happen. And for the fact that for each region, okay, specific Yorubas and Igbos, you have people that are indigenous of that land who are in the government and are actively working against what the people want in terms of having their own nation. It's like, at this point, we can just assume that they're all greedy. I mean, we know that, but it's official to assume that they're all greedy. And this sort of narrative of, oh, the power only lies in the, absolutely horrendous, because there's absolutely no excuse. If these leaders decided that they wanted to change something, they would do it like this, because what? The people will cooperate with them. It is absolute gaslighting, theft, toxicity for them to make it seem like as if the Nigerian people don't know what they want, to make it seem like as if the Nigerian people are not capable of making decisions for themselves and in terms of what they want to achieve. And that is why I'm always saying that for the next election, it is going to be very different, if it even happens in the first place. That is just my opinion. And somebody says there are leaders and stakeholders in Nigeria problems. They know history will never be kind to them. Let them continue their opposition. Someone says, ask Obasanjo the same question. He would still say the same thing as Baba Bisa Kondi, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and other pronounce it. Nigeria is our country. Let's work for the progress of the nation. But again, Nigeria is irretrievably damaged. For us to do that, it means we have to uproot and start from the beginning as a nation, which is actually harder than separating and starting afresh. It actually is. But then at the end of the day, for us to achieve either of those, moving forward, the fact is that we are going to have to be united on a micro level and on a macro level as Africans, because again, we cannot afford to be divided. Why? Because it is easy to control a divided people and instill fear. Put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.